Hi everybody and welcome to March Munchies. This is Kristen with Asta Cielo y Mas, and today I'm going to be making low-carb biscuits. I actually realized just a little while ago I don't have all the ingredients, so I'm going to be making a small version of this, and I'm hoping it's going to turn out. But I typically have not done keto or low-carb baked goods in the past, mostly because they turn out pretty eggy. But a friend of mine suggested making this today, and so I'm going to give it a try, and we'll see how it turns out. So the first ingredient is 1.5 cups of almond flour. I did not have 1.5 cups, so I'm going to be making a third the recipe, and we'll see how this turns out. So it's supposed to be 1.5 cups of almond flour. It's supposed to be a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and it's supposed to be 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 2 eggs, 1/3 cup of sour cream. I'm using Honduran sour cream because that's what we had on hand. 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 1/3 cup of shredded cheese, and I'm using Organic Valley sharp cheddar cheese, and I don't have garlic powder, so I'm using just a smidgen of fresh grated garlic. We're going to be baking these at 400 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes, and I'll be back with you in a little while to tell you how it's going. The first step is to mix the dry ingredients together. So I've done my salt, baking powder, and almond flour. Of course, you would be also doing your garlic powder at this time. The next step is to whisk all of your wet ingredients together. In my case, that's the eggs, the sour cream, the butter, and the fresh garlic that I'm using. So I have my oven preheating at 400 degrees, and I've added my wet mixture to my dry mixture, and I will be mixing it well. After mixing well, I will now add my cheese and mix that well. So obviously this didn't make as many as I was expecting, as I only used about half the recipe. So we're going to have about 11 biscuits in this little cupcake pan. The recipe I looked at did use a biscuit pan. I'd never even seen a biscuit pan. I've never made biscuits before, but you can look that up. I will put the link in the description at the bottom. I'm now baking the biscuits at 400 for 10 to 12 minutes. Because the biscuits are so small, I've decided to check them at 8 minutes. So here's the finished product. I did taste one and they are pretty good. They definitely don't taste eggy, and they kind of taste a little bit like the cheddar biscuits that you get at Red Lobster. In fact, very, very similar, of course, with almond flour. So when you bake with almond flour, the net carbs are greatly reduced. This is not exactly a low-calorie recipe because it does have the sour cream and the butter in it. But I'll be putting the nutrition stats at the bottom. But I do highly recommend, if you're looking for something to make with a meal or even for a breakfast sandwich, I think this would make a really, really good breakfast sandwich. And I hear that they do freeze well. I would definitely want to freeze some because if you make the full recipe, it's going to make a lot, unless you have someone to share it with. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I'll see you again next week. Bye. Happy Valentine's Day. Whoops. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Gosh.